this chapter number 2, I have completed two terms over here. One is business transactions, in which like we have learned something about the features of business transactions as well as the classification of the transactions in cash and credit, and then external and internal transaction. Then we had a very good discussion about the term account also the other day, okay, and in which I showed you the format also. In the format, it is very clearly specified, or we can see from the format that an account basically is divided into two sides, that is left hand side and the right hand side. The left hand side will be termed as a debit side, and the right hand side will be termed as a credit side, right? Moving ahead now, okay, we need to start with this term, I think, right? The next term for the day is capital. Capital from accounting point of view.
Sir, the money invested by owner into a business or any asset brought to a business like furniture.
Yes.
Sir, the capital means the assets and the cash in the business.
Assets and cash in the business, but we have to add the word that these are brought by the owner.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Whatever, okay, is brought in. Whatever का मतलब यही है कि it can be in the form of cash, it can be in the form of the assets. मतलब in kind भी हो सकता है. Okay, so if any cash or in any kind the thing is brought in by the owner in the business, either to start the business or to expand the business, we call it as capital. ठीक है? So in simple words, you can just keep it like that. This is the amount invested by the proprietor. Proprietor is the owner, okay, in the business. Amount invested by the owner in the business is capital. As simple as that. It can be in cash, it can be in kind as well. Now capital is, this is cash or assets. Capital is a liability of the business entity. Over here again, I will remind you about the two phases. Some of you are new to class. बहुत जरूरी है ये जानना, ये क्या है दो फेसेस. ये स्माइलिंग फेस किसका है?
कंपनी ओनर.
ओनर, या. एंड ये किसका है? Business. See, like you need to understand that whenever we do accountancy, we need to be very, very selfish, and we need to understand that like owner and business are two different identities. Whatever we do in business, that is always, or whatever we do record in the business, okay, business books of accounts, right? So it has to be from the business point of view, not from the owner's point of view. Owner has invested the amount into the business, right? Owner ने business को पैसे दिए. So for business, it is a liability. Liability का मतलब क्या होता है? The amount which the business owes to the owner. Business knows that in future business will have to pay it back to the owner, so it is a kind of a liability for the business entity. It is also termed as internal liability, as this amount belongs to owner only, and whatever the amount is owed by the business to its owner or owners, okay, so it is called as internal liability. Owner's equity refers to owner's claim in the assets of the business. That's a very similar term. Okay, we can at times calculate the capital as the excess of assets over its outside liabilities. We already have learned something about the accounting equation. Okay, in terms of transaction, I told you accounting equation is assets is equal to capital plus liabilities. At that time also I told you this accounting equation is a separate chapter. Chapter number 5 we are going to learn in detail, but 5th chapter. And now if I have to calculate capital, so capital will be equal to, okay, all assets minus outside liabilities, because capital is also the liability. We can't say all liabilities, but outside liabilities, when you deduct it from the assets, we get capital. That's the formula over here. We are supposed to calculate the capital of RAM from the following information. Let us see who is good with the calculation. Okay, jaldi se. Okay, these are the various balances given to us: cash, land and building, plant, stock, debtors, bank loan, and creditors. यहाँ से आप लोग मुझे ये बताओ कि which are the assets and which are the liabilities. Yes, one by one. Cash.
Asset.
Cash is an asset. That's very correct. Okay. एक second. हाँ. Then is land and building.
Asset.
Asset.
That's correct. Plant.
Asset.
Asset. Stock.
Asset.
Asset.
Asset. Debtors.
Liabilities.
Debtors.
Asset.
Asset. Who are
Oh,
debtors? Debtors के लिए simple term बताया था
From
मैंने.
whom we can take the cash?
We can
Who owes us money?
Who owes
we
us
can
money?
take the cash, or these are the people who owe to the business.
Yes, who owes to the business?
Yes. So these are the customers. These are the customers to whom the goods have been sold on credit. So we need to take the money from them, right? We cannot we can't say we can take the money. It's not like that. They owe to the business. They are supposed to pay the amount to the business, right? So these are the assets, the amount which I have marked with the tick mark over there. And now what about the bank loan? Bank loan is a asset or a liability?
Liability.
A liability.
Yes, that's very correct. And creditors?
Liability.
Liability. Liability किसी को पसंद नहीं होती, इसीलिए मैंने क्रॉसिंग कर दिया. Assets always should be there with us. Okay. So we have assets with us. We have liability with us. Can you give me the total of the assets over here? Calculations, please. जल्दी से. 10, 50, 30, 30, 25. So 60, 120, 145.
Yes, sir.
हाँ. तो assets are 145. चलो ठीक है. What about liabilities?
70,000.
70,000.
ठीक है. Liabilities are 70,000. Now, can you tell me the amount of capital?
75,000.
75,000. That's very correct, Manat. See, like capital is all assets minus outside liabilities. So 145 minus 70 will give us 75,000. Any doubt with the term capital now? Anyone? Okay.
सर ये आउटसाइड लायबिलिटीज में सभी लायबिलिटी आ जाएंगी ना?
हाँ.
ये ऐसा कुछ
कैपिटल को
differentiate है
छोड़
कि
कैपिटल को छोड़ के, क्योंकि कैपिटल इज इंटरनल लायबिलिटी. ओके, कैपिटल तो वैसे ही फाइन करना है. बाकी आप बैंक लोन की बात करो. If we have to pay some amount to someone, maybe in the form of the loan, maybe in the form of the outstanding amount, like we need to pay for wages, we need to pay for electricity bill, जो भी amount payable होगा, that's a liability. And outside liability, apart from owner's equity, any amount payable to any other party is external liability, outside liability. Okay, so I assume that the things are getting more and more clear to us. Next one is drawings.
Some money withdrawn by the owner from a business for personal use.
Yes, that's the exact definition. The amount withdrawn by the owner from the business for personal use is a drawing. Okay. It can be the amount of cash withdrawn or the value of goods, right? It is not necessary that only the cash is withdrawn. It can be in kind also. What other things are withdrawn? Maybe goods, maybe stock, maybe asset withdrawn, maybe cash withdrawn by the owner, that is by the proprietor or the partners for their personal use, that is drawings. And like capital and drawings are two opposite terms. Capital mein owner gives us the money. As a business, I receive the money from the owner. And drawings mein owner receives the money from the business, or owner takes the money from or withdraws the money from the business. So one thing is sure that कि like अगर owner ने मुझे 1 lakh दिया है, उसमें से he has withdrawn 20,000. So as a business, I know like I need to pay 80,000 to the owner. क्योंकि 1 lakh दिया था, 20 withdraw किया. So because of drawings, what happens? The fact is the capital will reduce always, right? The capital will reduce because of drawings. Next term is liability.
Sir, money pending by the owner to pay
The
for the goods he purchased.
amount which is owed by the business to anyone. Okay, amount owed by business entity, that is the liability. Okay, which the business owes to outsiders is a liability, except the amount of proprietor, because that will be a part of the internal liability. Okay, so in other words, all claim besides the owner are called liabilities. Liability is equal to assets minus capital. We have already the accounting equation with us, that is assets is equal to capital plus liabilities. If we just interchange the values over there, the liability will be equal to assets minus capital. the definition of liability has been given over here. Liability are the debts. They are the amount owed to creditors, the outsiders. Amount owed by business entity to the outsiders, that's a liability. The examples, you can see that the creditors, the bills payable, the bank overdraft, the bank loan, salary outstanding, etc. Right? Creditors, we are well aware of. Are you aware of the term bills payable?
Sub bills which are yet to be paid by us.
Yes, exactly. You can go with the words as well. Bills payable, the bills which are yet to be paid by the business entity, that's a bill payable. मतलब ये कब आता है कि when credit transaction takes place. If I have purchased goods on credit, okay, the vendor, the seller will issue a bill to me. I'll have to accept it. Acceptance का मतलब होता है कि I'll have to put my signature on the bill. Accepting that, I'll have to pay this amount after a certain period. Okay, right? Because of the credit transaction, the bill is there. That bill is accepted by me. I need to pay it, so it's a bill payable for me. Right? The creditors and bills payable are very close terms actually, and together, one term is there, that is trade payables. We'll learn that later on. How many of you are aware of this term now? Bank overdraft. What is bank overdraft?
Sir, if we have our account in which we have 10,000 rupees, and if we write a check of 11,000 rupees, the bank will pass the check as a loan to you, and we will have to pay that back 1,000, the difference between that.
That is bank overdraft.
Yes.
Bank overdraft is a kind of facility which is provided by the bank to its customers. Many of business people are sitting in over here. Agar papa business mein, I'm sure like they must be having this facility in their bank account. Okay. So bank overdraft is a kind of facility which is provided by the bank to its customers. If we have a bank balance of 10,000 and if you have to issue a check of 11,000, so that can be issued only if you have this facility with you, overdraft facility. And the account holders who do not enjoy this facility, they cannot issue a check more than 10,000 if a balance is 10,000, right? So this is a kind of a facility in which bank allows its customers to withdraw more amount than the actual balance up to a certain limit, that is for sure. कि आपको ऐसा नहीं कि जितने का amount चाहिए तो आप use कर सकते हो. No. As per your creditability, as per the transactions that are managed by you in the bank account, according to that, the bank will decide a certain limit to withdraw over amount than the actual balance. So whatever the amount is withdrawn in excess of the actual balance, the account holder is supposed to pay interest on that. Okay, so that is the difference. Credit card mein aap kya karte ho? You are given a facility to pay the amount within that time limit. No interest is charged, but if you pay after that time limit, you will definitely have to pay the interest, right? So that's the basic difference between a credit card and a bank overdraft. Okay. Yes, bank loan, it is almost known to us. Salary outstanding. From the business point of view, you need to think over. Salary outstanding is something like the salary which is yet to be paid to the employees. Every organization has its own set of rules, right? They follow it, the policies. So maybe it's a policy of the organization or the firm or the business entity to pay the salary on the 7th of next month. Okay. So for example, this is the month of June going on, right? June जैसे ही खत्म होता है, June 30 को खत्म हो जाएगा. So for the month of June, as a business entity, I need to pay the salary on the 7th of the next month, 7th of July. Now, due होगा 30th June को, pay करूँगा 7th July को. For that particular week of time, the first week of July, so this salary will be termed as salary outstanding. The salary which is yet to be paid. The services has already been acquired. The amount is yet to be paid. So that is outstanding amount, right? Accrued amount, right? So these are all the examples wherever the amounts are to be paid by the business entity, that is termed as a liability, correct? Liability may be classified as, again, we will have the two terms like internal and external. Okay, liability can be classified under internal. When you talk about the internal liability, okay, that means it's a liability of the firm towards owner or owners of the business. That means, in short, capital. Capital is the only and only example of internal liability. And apart from this, if the business entity owes any amount to anyone else, it is going to be a part of external liability. You talk about the amount payable to creditors, you talk about amount payable to the bank loan taken, okay, maybe the debenture holders from the company's point of view, maybe the salaries outstanding, maybe the expenses outstanding, okay, so which of these things are there, okay, so these are always going to be external liabilities, okay. So the amount which is to be paid back to the owner, the business entity owes to the owner, is the only example of internal liability, that is capital, correct. We have some more classifications also. External liability, we have the classification current and non-current. We'll discuss that in detail now. Let us see what is a current liability, right? Current and non-current basically. So this classification has come into existence in the Companies Act 2013, and it was introduced for the first time in the revised Schedule 6 of Companies Act 1956. Earlier, Companies Act 1956 was existing, but now it is not continuing anymore. The Companies Act 2013 is there, which companies need to follow. In the year 2011, these terms were introduced, like current and non-current liabilities. Okay. These definitions, the definitions were given for these terms, current and non-current. In simple words, if I have to keep it, so current ke liye, I always say that it's a short-term liability. Okay, it's a short-term liability, and non-current ke liye, I always say that it's a long-term liability. Now this short-term and long-term has to be, some duration has to be there. When you talk about the duration, it is always the period of 12 months. Any amount payable within a period of 12 months will be a current liability, and if any liability, any amount is payable beyond a period of 12 months, it will be my non-current liability. But apart from that 12 months period, we have something else to learn, that is operating cycle. We'll come to that. Okay, a liability shall be classified as current when it satisfies any one of the following. Okay, following criteria. The different criteria are there. It is expected to be settled within the operating cycle. Okay. Now, what is operating cycle? That has to be known to us. Operating cycle, when you talk about it, is nothing but the time period taken. But time period taken for what? So that needs to be understood by us. The time period taken right from the acquisition of the asset that you are going to use for the production purpose, the machineries and all, right? Right from the date of acquiring the machineries till the date we receive the money from the customers. What is the process basically? You need to understand the process and the time cycle, time period taken. If I am into a manufacturing process, I would like to purchase the machineries for getting the raw material converted into the finished goods. Machine purchase kiya, after that I'll be going for the purchase of raw materials. I'll be looking for the workers, the laborers will be required, workers will be required in the factory. I'll get my raw material converted into finished goods, we'll pack them, we'll do the advertisement, we'll sell out to the customers. When the customers are going to make me the payment, that is the date I'm looking for, right? Starting with the date of acquisition of the asset, and the final date is the date on which I'm receiving the money from the customer. So that is what is operating cycle, correct? Now this operating cycle can be a period of 12 months, it can be less than that, it can be more than that also. It depends on the business entity, right? In future also, like in company accounts basically, in class 12, you will be having some numerical based on this, how to identify whether a liability is a current or a non-current. So we will have the time period, we will have the operating cycle also. In case the operating cycle is not specified anywhere, so then by default we take it as a period of 12 months. So current liability is expected to be settled in the company's normal operating cycle or 12 months, whichever is more, is a proper definition of a current liability. Let us see what is the criteria to be followed for current liabilities of being traded, right? The same thing will come to the assets also. It is due to be settled within a period of 12 months. So these are the two things I want you to remember basically for a current liability. Amount to be settled within 12 months or operating cycle, whichever is more basically, correct? Operating cycle refers to the time taken between the acquisition of the asset and the realization in cash or cash equivalents. ठीक है, जो मैंने already बताया आपको. Operating cycle is assumed as 12 months if it cannot be defined. If it cannot be defined, then only. ये आ गया. In short, the current liability or a short-term liability are those liabilities which are payable within a year or within the operating cycle, whichever is more. Correct? You have to remember this. You just can't say that within operating cycle. No. Within 12 months, no. Whichever is more. Okay. Which are the liabilities included in current liabilities? Generally, we have creditors. Okay, they are the suppliers basically to whom the amount is repaid within some period of time. Bills payable can be seen. Bank overdraft. Yesterday we had a discussion. Outstanding expenses. The expenses yet to be paid. I give you the example of salary, and it can be a short-term loan from the bank. Any short-term loan which is repaid within 12 months of time, that is my current liability. Correct? Non-current. मैंने ऐसे ही क्लास में पूछा था कि करंट का तो चलो पता चल गया, तो नॉन करंट क्या होगा? तो एक बच्चा बोलता है कि जो करंट लायबिलिटी नहीं है वो नॉन करंट. I have to accept that answer. I have to, because it is exactly defined in such a way. Has been defined in a negative sense. Okay, that is non-current liabilities are those liabilities which are not current liabilities. ठीक है? But when you talk about the time period and all, it is to be paid beyond that 12 months. ठीक है? In short, the liabilities payable after a long period of time, that is after 12 months or operating cycle, whichever is more, are termed as non-current liabilities or long-term liabilities. We'll have some examples over here. It includes the debentures, has been discussed earlier, long-term loan, mortgage loan, long-term advances. We have accepted the advances. Okay, that's a point. And any term loan from the bank or any other financial institution. So such things are the examples of non-current liabilities. Current within 12 months or operating cycle, whichever is more. Non-current after a long period of time, maybe 12 months or operating cycle, whichever is more, right?
Sir, how are debentures non-current liability or long-term liability?
Debentures का आपको याद होगा कि like I told you, it is one of the sources of funds.
Yes, sir.
From companies, a company form of organization point of view. Okay, whenever they are in need of funds, they issue the shares, they issue the debentures as well. Okay, so debentures generally are for a period of more than 1 year. Generally, I don't say always. Okay, so whenever the debentures are to be redeemed, मतलब जो debenture holders हैं उनको जब पैसे वापस करने हैं. Okay, so whenever the debentures are to be redeemed after a period of 1 year, generally debentures का time period is 3 years, 5 years like that. The way like we take a loan from the bank का loan अगर short term का तो short term लिखेंगे current liability, long term हो गया तो long term लिखेंगे. The same thing with debentures also. Generally debentures are issued for a period of more than 1 year, so it is basically considered as a long term liability only.
Like sir, if today I have purchased a debenture, so I'll get the money or the interest after a year or 2 or 3.
See, like differs. Point is, you're talking about interest. Interest you'll be getting. Generally, the interest on debentures is paid by the companies on half-yearly basis. Say, for example, the accounting year is from April to March. Okay, now April to March is the first 6 months will get over as on 30th of September. So companies will pay you the interest as on 30th September for the first 6 months, and again as on 31st of March for the next 6 months. This is what is the process generally companies follow for paying interest on debentures to their debenture holders. Now, being the investor, you are thinking from your point of view ki how long I'll be keeping the debentures with me. So if you feel like you want a fixed income, you can keep it with you for a longer period of time. If you feel like मुझे long term नहीं रखना है, you can dispose of. Okay, sale कर सकते हो debentures को. We'll learn these things in class 12. We have a separate chapter for debentures. Okay, so those things can be done. Okay, so you will be redeemed the amount if the debentures are issued to you for a period of 3 years. So you will get the redemption of debentures after 3 years only.
Okay.
I restrict my discussion over here because debenture, like there are two chapters in class 12, so I can't restrict for just one thing. Right now, you just understand that yes, generally debentures की बात आती है तो it is a source of fund, a long-term borrowing for us, for the companies, right? Assets. I would like to complete in 5 minutes, though it will be difficult for me, but I'll try. Assets are just opposite of the liabilities. Okay. Earlier I used to give just one word. The liabilities are the payables, and assets are the receivables. There's no doubt about that. That was the right word given. But when you have to define it, you can't write that liabilities are payable and assets are receivables. No marks are allotted for that. Okay. So when you want to get some marks on in the exams, so we need to write it properly. So these are the economic resources of an individual or organization that can be usefully expressed in terms of money. These assets should be acquired and owned by the organization. If you have paid something in money on money's consideration, then it can be shown in the books of accounts. But if you receive anything as a gift, that will not be shown as an asset in the books of accounts, right? We'll learn that in detail in class 12 again. The assets examples, you can see that land, building, plant, machinery, very common examples are there: furniture, stock, cash and bank balance, and so many examples can be given, right? Following are the features of the assets. Again, the features that we have gone through for liabilities, also the criteria we'll go through for assets as well. Assets are the valuable resources, there is no doubt about that. They are owned and acquired at money cost. Please remember this. Okay, I already have told you about this, and it may have a tangible or intangible form. How many of you are aware of this term, tangible?
So the tangible are those which can be physically existent and can be touched, and intangible are those which cannot be touched. They can be only seen, like software.
Correct. Okay, we can just use the services of such things. So that's an intangible form. And if any asset is there which can be seen, which can be touched, which has some physical existence, like furniture you talk about, yes, it's a best example of tangible fixed asset. The same thing over here now for assets, which we already have gone through for liabilities. For the first time, it was introduced in the revised schedule of Companies Act 1956 in 2011, and then it was adopted by the Companies Act 2013, right? Current assets, similar to current liabilities. Again, like we need to understand the criteria that was there for current liabilities. For current liability, we saw that the amount which is to be settled within the operating cycle, within the period of 12 months, it should be held for the trading purpose. The same features are over here. The criteria is the same thing. It is expected to be realized, because you talk about the asset, you have to use this word as realized within the company's normal operating cycle. It is held primarily for trading. It is to be used in the business, and it is expected to be realized within 12 months after the reporting date. So operating cycle and 12 months, and for being traded, all three features were there for current liabilities also. The criteria basically, okay. It is cash or cash equivalent. This is in addition to current asset. In short, current asset again, the things are like which are likely to be converted within the period of 1 year or within the opening cycle, whichever is more. This word please take care. 1 marker के लिए कहीं भी adjust हो सकता है. And if you want to define it, you can use these words: are likely to be converted into cash within a period of 12 months or within the opening cycle, whichever is more. Examples of current assets, you can see that it's a cash and bank balance. It can be a debtor, bill receivable, stock, short-term investments, prepaid expenses, etc. Non-current assets. Again, the similar way to the non-current liabilities are defined in a negative sense. The assets which are not current assets are non-current assets. So basically they are fixed assets and non-current investments. Fixed assets में क्या क्या आएगा? These are the assets which are purchased by the business entity to use it in the firm, in the business, and which are there for a longer period of time. They are basically not meant for resale. अगर मैंने machinery purchase किया है, तो I'm going to use that for the manufacturing process, right? I'm not going to sell out that particular machinery, correct? So that's a point for the fixed assets. And examples of fixed assets can be given as land, building, machinery, furniture, motor vehicle, computers, etc. Tangible assets. Tangible assets are those assets which can be seen, which can be touched, or these are the resources, these are the assets which have some physical existence. So such are the tangible fixed assets, okay, which have physical existence, so they can be seen and touched. Examples, very common: land, building, plant and machinery, furniture, motor vehicle, computers, etc. Intangible assets. Intangible assets are just the opposite of tangible. These will not have any physical existence, so they cannot be seen, they cannot be touched. But yes, we can definitely use the services of such assets. Okay, so examples are goodwill, patent, trademark, copyright, very commonly examples given, branding, and computer software. Out of these, I think like we are well aware with computer software, so you must be using the various computer softwares, and these are in intangible form, right? Can you tell me something about goodwill, patent, trademark, copyright?
So a patent is like when somebody patents their own work or something that can be exclusively used by them, or and nobody has the rights over that thing.
Which kind of work
Nobody.
can this be?
Can be, I'm not sure, can be anything, I guess. Like somebody has made like nano fertilizers or stuff like that.
Yeah, something that you have created, which is not known to anyone else. Okay, a kind of a formula, a kind of a recipe for doing something, maybe for manufacturing a product. Okay, maybe like the fastest moving car, that formula is in your mind. Okay, so if you just disclose that to somebody, like some company that you maybe handsomely paid, so that is patent. Okay, that has to be something which is created by one or any individual or any other company. So that's patent. Okay, so a kind of a recipe, a kind of a formula to prepare or manufacture a product. So that's a patent, and yes, you need to get it patented, so that right is with you only, and you are the owner, and you can sell it off, so you can realize the money therefrom.
Okay, sir. Goodwill is basically the name and fame.
Name and fame or reputation, right?
Any particular company or a business.
Yeah, it's a reputation or the credit of the company, the image of the company or the firm, the business firm, business entity, right? Which enables it to earn more profit as compared to the other firms in the similar business. This reputation is basically created by the owners in case of the sole proprietor partnership, the way they manage their business, the way they deal with their customers, the way they deal with their, the suppliers, the creditors, and the bankers also. Okay, the way they manage their own business transactions. Okay, if they are very neat and clean with their transactions, they enjoy a reputation in the market, they enjoy a credit in the market, and that is what is all about goodwill. And with the help of this kind of reputation only, they are able to earn more profit than the other firms in the similar business, and that is something called as goodwill. Okay, now who else will apply for any other term now?
Sir, I want to say about branding, sir. Sorry, copyright.
Yeah.
So copyright is a type of a legal right for any company, and means it can publish its own book and nobody can copy it. So they have a private copyright in the book also. You can say.
Yes, it is related to the original writing. Okay, whatever the original writing is there, you can get it copyrighted, and the rights are reserved with you only. The rights are reserved with the author, basically, who has written something of his own mind, like it's a kind of a creativity again. So basically we see that since our childhood we have seen that in case of the books. Apart from books, where else we can see this? YouTube channels, yeah, no doubt about that.
Sir, music videos.
Music also, yeah.
Trademark is usually like some sort of content or property that has a specific brand or logo or something that like differentiates it from, for example, like Nike shoes are different from Adidas shoes.
How do you identify the two products?
Based on the logo or the branding?
Yes, the logo. Branding is related to the brand name, maybe the logo, maybe the name, maybe the color, anything, right? So these all are the special features. These are all the like the qualitative aspects, which again cannot be do not have any physical existence, so cannot be seen, and that is why they do are the valuable resources to the company or the firm. So these are intangible assets, right? Thank you so much. To continue now, intangible assets are the valuable to the business. That's fine. By using technical know-how, the patents, Maruti Suzuki Limited is producing cars in India, okay, and its goodwill helps the company to earn more profit. The value of such intangible assets to the business entity depends upon the benefit that is likely to be derived in future. Okay, which are the intangible assets are there with you? Maybe the patent. You have been using the patent since years. Now you just think that ki ab ye zyada kaam nahi karega. We need to come up with some new idea, new product. So you will have to find something new, okay, in the market. So you would like to sell off that patent. तो अब वो पता है कि ज़्यादा अगर कोई और भी कॉपी करता है तो उसको कोई ज़्यादा फायदा होना नहीं है. तो the value of that patent which has been already used by you as a company since years will not fetch that good value. So it very much depends of all these assets. Okay, which other assets are there? The value will depend on the benefit that is to be derived in future from such an asset. Current assets are also called circulating assets or floating assets. Why so? As these assets keep on changing on continuous basis. Current assets. Current assets basically talk about the short-term investments, inventories, cash and cash equivalents, the cash and bank balance, maybe the stock, right? Prepaid expenses. Okay, these are the things which are there. And yes, trade receivables, like, I should not forget that. The trade receivables is something related to the debtors, the bills receivable. So what happens if any transaction is taking place, the value of these assets is going to change, is going to. Say for example, if I have purchased goods for cash, goods comes in, cash goes out. Both are current assets. So one current asset will increase, other asset will decrease. The purchase, the sale of goods for cash, the sale of goods on credit, purchase of goods on credit. So these all transactions will have an impact on the current assets every now and then. So that's why these assets are termed as the circulating assets or the floating assets, because their value keeps on changing. Cash is used to purchase goods. It becomes a stock. Again, that stock is sold to Ram on credit. So Ram becomes our debtor. And again, after 2 months, when Ram accepts a bill, the bill receivable will be received from him, and on maturity again cash will come. So you can see that stock, debtors, bill receivable, cash, these are the current assets which will be getting affected with just one transaction, with a transaction taking place with one person. So every now and then the value of these assets keeps on changing. The circulation of money goes on, so these assets are also called as circulating assets. Prepaid expenses are also the current asset, but you need to understand, like, these are generally not converted into cash. Prepaid expenses is something related to we have paid something in advance to acquire the services in future. You talk about your prepaid SIM card, right? We get it recharged, right? Every 3 months or 2 months of time. What are the schemes there? Okay, so we just pay the amount in advance to the company so that the company gives us the services for the 2 months. If we just say like we are not utilizing the services after a month, so are they going to pay us in cash? Nothing like that. So prepaid expenses generally are not converted into cash. Okay, so but yes, it is always to be treated as a current asset. It will accrue, the benefit will accrue to the firm in the next year. So in this sense, it is classified among the current assets. Current assets are generally shown in the balance sheet. Assets to balance sheet mein jaate hain. But the order that is followed for current assets, generally, it is the order of liquidity. The assets which are already in the liquid form or which can be converted easily into the liquid form, they are shown in that particular order, in the ascending order. Let us see the assets in the liquidity order. First is always going to be the cash and the bank. Okay, the cash in hand and cash in bank is always in the liquid form. So as for the liquidity order, these are the two assets which should appear on the top. After that, it is a bill receivable, and then it is the short-term investments in the marketable securities. Bill receivable is because the amount becomes due on a particular date from the bills receivable. So we are definitely we are sure that we are going to receive the amount. We are sure in the sense the date is known to us. So that's why it is in the order of liquidity before marketable securities. Short-term investments in marketable securities in the next in turn, and after that we have debtors. Debtors will take their own time to make the payment to us, and then it is the closing stock, the goods, right? What are the amount of stock is there with us? I don't say generally it is easily convertible into cash, but yes, after all these assets, okay, because stock है market में हम तभी बेच पाएंगे like when it is demand in the market. Even if we just reduce the price, but if the product is not demand in the market, we will not be able to sell that. So that's why stock is at number 6, and after that prepaid expenses, right? So these are all my current assets in the order of liquidity, right? Now, why I have highlighted these two, why I have underlined these two over here? You need to understand that from current assets, one more term can be derived, that is liquid assets. Okay, all these current assets are also termed as liquid assets, except two. That is, we need to deduct the closing stock, right? And the prepaid expenses. You deduct these from current assets, okay? You get liquid assets. Okay, this is the condition. So current assets ka order of liquidity is cash in hand, cash at bank, bill receivable, marketable securities, debtors, and then we have closing stock and prepaid expenses. But like if I have to calculate the liquid assets which are readily convertible into cash, in that case, I just need to exclude these two, that is closing stock and prepaid expenses. That is what is all about liquid assets. I already have shown you. So wahi hai, which are likely to be converted into cash within a very short period of time. So such assets are liquid assets. सारे current asset होते हैं except those two. Examples of liquid assets are cash, cash at bank, कोई remaining आ जाएंगे, bill receivable, debtors, short-term and marketable securities. Liquid assets are current assets, okay, except the two, that is stock and prepaid expenses. We do have a formula as well. Please remember this formula for 1 marker question. In class 12, this will be very common in one of the chapter, that is ratios.